Hey Libra, welcome back to Distilled Tarot. My name's Shannon. I'll be guiding you through today's reading. This is our daily reading for June 21st, 2025. Let's see what's going on with Libra. The heart of your reading, we have the Eight of Swords reversed. So nothing is out of the realm of possibility for you right now. It's probably highlighting the fact that you used to feel like there was only one way to do this thing, or there was only one right answer to this question. But the reversal feels like a fresh new take, like, oh wait, you know what? Let me rethink that. Just because that's the way I've always done it, or just because that's the only way that I'm familiar with, maybe that doesn't mean that there's not more possibilities out there. So let me sort of take off this metaphorical blindfold and see where I've been holding myself back, mentally speaking. What's the obstacle here? What's the challenge? The Four of Cups. Either you want to make an offer to someone, but you're afraid that they're not going to be receptive. So the challenge is gearing up the courage to make the offer. Or someone has been approaching you and you haven't been open to it. And the challenge is like, okay, well, how do I see things differently here? How could I perceive this as positive? How could I receive this opportunity or this gift and interpret it in a way that is actually a good thing for me? You're like, maybe trying to want it, if that makes sense. Your focus is on the Moon and the Two of Wands, a lot of unknowns. Taking the unknown path when it's presented to you as an opportunity to veer from the direction you've been headed has a sort of an adventurous undertone, but requiring a willingness to either go it alone or make a lot of changes. For some reason, I'm getting like you're going to have to allow yourself to be led on instinct a lot more rather than logic and reason. Show me what led up to this in the recent past. Some sort of revelation. Seven of Swords in reverse says that there was something that was concealed and it was revealed. Some admission of guilt. Some secret that was kept that was suddenly shared. Someone opened up about it rather than keeping something really private. This could be one example. Let's say you're in a romantic relationship, a committed relationship of some sort, where you're intimate with one another. The revelation could be your partner sharing a kink that they have that they've kept secret from you up until that point. This could be you saying, oh, I've always thought that that wouldn't be part of my life, or I wasn't even aware that people were into that was a possibility. It wasn't in my sphere of awareness as the way you do things. And then you're kind of turning that on its head and opening yourself up to possibilities and saying, all right, well, let me take a fresh look at it. Maybe it's possible. However, whatever is being offered isn't initially appealing to you. You're like, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that. It just doesn't feel good when I think about it when I'm first seeing it, but it's a new path I could go down. I didn't think I was going to go down that path, but it's an unknown. it would require me to really be comfortable with potential missteps. Like, maybe I'm going to do it wrong. Maybe I won't like it. This is unproven territory. I don't know how it's going to go. There's a lot of unknown variables. I'll just say she looks like she's enjoying herself. Just going to throw that out there. If that's your story, Libra. One of the best things that could potentially come from this, from your higher self perspective, is the Four of Swords in reverse. This is either... Sorry, I have a little piece of fuzz here and it's really itching. This is either highlighting that whatever you are embarking upon could have a really healing effect for you, so much so that you complete some healing. Something that you've really been working on, addressing problems within you or within a relationship maybe. This could be the end to constantly needing to be healed. Maybe an old wound keeps festering, metaphorically speaking. This Four of Swords in reverse could indicate that's going to finally heal once and for all, in a way that isn't going to require your ongoing attention and stepping away from life, stepping away from your partner. If this is a romantic story and you and your partner have experienced bouts of like time apart, some distance that you're not really sure why it's happening, I think that could indicate an end to that happening. Let's say your person has a kink and they've been afraid to share it with you, and they finally share it, and you consider engaging in that behavior with them. And in the past, they used to not want to spend as much time with you because they secretly want to do this thing, and maybe they're, I don't want to insinuate any wrongdoing, but maybe in this example, they're like exploring that kink on the side without you, maybe privately, just themselves. Maybe it doesn't need to insinuate cheating of any kind. But I'm just saying that would fit the situation, because this could mean like they're no longer feeling like there's any reason to periodically withdraw from you. All right, I'm going to try to give that story a rest a little bit. In the near future, we have the Page of Swords in reverse. But you pair it with the Ten of Cups there at the bottom of the deck, and I don't think this is anything negative. The Page of Swords in reverse can be bad news, but the fact that there's like a lot of happiness indicated with this energy makes me think that the absence of communication is what you're really hoping for, or it's going to really make you happy in some way. There might be something looming where you're expecting to get a message from someone, but you don't really want to. You don't want to get the message. You're hoping that someone doesn't message you. If that's the case, you're going to get them not messaging you. Something that's going to impact the situation that you don't necessarily see coming is the Star in reverse, this shift in your vision for what you're really dreaming of, what you're hoping for. What is your measure of success? What's your North Star that's sort of inspiring you and motivating you to move forward in life? I think the reversal indicates that either you've been somewhat rudderless, like aimless, not really inspired, and that's going to change. Or whatever your dream in life that was sort of your guiding principle, or your I always thought that I would end up living in Paris. And whether or not you talk about that a lot, or it's really a central aspect of your life, just having that dream sort of influences your decisions in life. If you always thought you would end up living in Paris, then there are undercurrents of your actions sort of leading you in that direction, right? So whatever that is for you could be shifting unexpectedly, like, oh, that's not really what I want anymore, or something might replace it that's even better. Like, oh, I didn't even know how awesome Dubai is, or Dubrovnik. Maybe it's actually, I'm gonna move to Dubrovnik, not Paris. Paris is dirty and a big city and so urban, and I was romanticizing it. It's actually Dubrovnik. That's my dream. Not necessarily speaking from experience. Your hopes and fears. The devil. Okay, I thought I could move away from the whole kink interpretation, but here he is. In this context, I really think that you are both hopeful for exploring that and fearful of it. It's something new. It represents a release of inhibitions. You might be concerned that your partner really, really likes it and you won't, and that will cause a rift in the relationship if you open that up for exploration. It has a strong sort of enticing, lustful quality to it. The end result, we have the Eight of Wands, the Seven of Cups in reverse, and the Two of Swords in reverse. Well, there's a lot of momentum and discussion in a certain direction, Eight of Wands, that has to do with either really locking in to like motivation. Well, if we're going to do this, why would we be doing it? What would we be getting out of it? Like what's the underlying emotional connection to this? So it could be the reversal of the Seven of Cups could just be having identified the emotional motivation, or it could be saying that there's not any sort of temptation involved. I think we might be getting at the negative connotation of like a sinful temptation. You might be overcoming an emotional reservation to exploring this new kink because there were like how to describe this, like you thought it was bad or wrong or dirty, or those sorts of energies can be represented by the Seven of Cups, like a sinful desire. So if you reverse that energy, I could see that fitting the story with you, like, okay, let's talk about this, let's get everything out on the table, let's have a lot of communication about it, which would create momentum in a certain direction. Let's resolve any concerns about sinfulness, or replace that word with whatever fit your situation, if it's not like a religious sin that what might be holding you back, but like, you know what I'm talking about. And then we have the Two of Swords in reverse, indicating a decision made, like, okay, we've made the decision, that's what it's going to be. So it's not indicating what you're going to decide, whether it's yes or no, whether it's later, how it's going to play out if you say yes. It's just saying that a decision will be made. Your advice from Spirit, if you want to have the best possible outcome from this experience, is Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This says pause. You don't have to move forward if you're not comfortable. Just because you're on a path doesn't mean you need to stay moving in that direction. You can always reorient yourself and move in a new direction. I think it also says consider what direction you move in now, because it will set you on a path of a pattern of behavior that you'll be involved with on a regular basis. So I think the reversal of the Knight of Pentacles, if it's that latter interpretation, would it suggest that even if you're willing to engage in this new thing with your partner, it might not be something that you want to do regularly. And if that's the case, make sure to verbalize that. Make sure to say, oh, I'm okay trying this out, but it's not something I want to put into the routine. I don't want to do this daily. Make sure that you express like something about frequency. We can do this once a month, or we can do this once a year. This is like has something to do with scheduling or frequency. So if that's left unsaid, make sure that you bring it up for discussion. So Libra, I'm going to leave it there. I hope this helped. Have a good day and have fun. And I will see you back next time.